Family, we have the most eye-opening and shocking videos you can find on the internet. Starting off with a company that sells sunlight at night. Let's see what's going on.
You can like play with the spot. But yeah, watch this. Just bring it over to us here. Isn't that crazy?
No way!
What?
That's a startup called Reflect Orbital, and they allow you to order sunlight at night from your phone. The way it works is that they have a bunch of mirror satellites in space, and when you order light, they just redirect the light from the sun all the way down to your location on Earth. And it looks like this from your location. And I guess they use this to power solar farms at night, or you could maybe order it if you're lost in the forest. I feel like this video might be a fake demo. I mean, these guys had this video on YouTube 5 months ago where they did the same thing using mirrors and a balloon. But that's by far the craziest idea I've heard this year. It has to be illegal in some way, right? You can't just order sunlight on your friend's house at 3 a.m.
Britain's Bill Gates has been confirmed as...
That's literally what I was thinking. Like, if I just start ordering sunlight out here in Miami or LA, it's sunlight for everyone in the area.
The missing after a luxury yacht has sunk off of the coast of Sicily. This is absolutely wild, and you'll see what I mean in a second. The man I'm talking about is British tech entrepreneur Mike Lynch. He recently won a 13-year legal battle after he sold HP for $11 billion. He was accused of 15 counts of fraud and conspiracy leading up to the sale of this, saying that he artificially inflated the company's numbers, but in June he was finally acquitted. But listen to this, his co-defendant Chamberlain recently passed away after he was fatally struck by a car just a few days before this yacht incident. Timing of all of this is just absolutely wild. But Lynch's wife, she's the one who owned the yacht. She survived along with 15 others, and 6, including Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter, has gone missing after the 184-foot yacht was struck by a storm.
The toughest questions we get asked and give our answers. One that's come up for a long time.
Bill Gates wants to end overpopulation, and truth is, in the show Utopia,
is as we make the world healthier, is the population going to get so big that feeding everybody and maintaining the environment is going to be impossible. The good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down, and so we can feel great about saving those lives.
NASA has decided that Butch and Sonny will return with...
All I gotta say is that Bill Gates was one of the main funders behind most of the shots that were given out to the mass majority of people.
Talking about the fact that there are currently 2 astronauts stuck in space until 2025. Not only have they been stuck in space for almost 3 months, but NASA said it's going to take another 6 to bring them down. Guys, this is only supposed to be a 2-week trip. The Starliner ship that brought the astronauts up there is going to return without them due to concerns for their safety. Apparently, the Boeing Starliner ship had helium leaks and propulsion problems, causing the 2 astronauts to be stuck in space. Boeing says that they are positive that these 2 can make it home safely in the Starliner, although it's having leaks. NASA said, absolutely not, it's too dangerous. You're wondering how they're going to get these 2 people stuck in space back to their family safely. Well, apparently SpaceX is going to bring them home on their Dragon ship, but only after they complete their mission. I mean, they've only been stranded long enough. What's a few more months, right? Which is why it's going to take them about until February or March 2025 to bring them home. The problems don't stop there. I mean, why would they? Apparently, the spacesuits that Butch and Suni are stuck in space with are only compatible with the Starliner ship, which is returning home without them. So they're going to need new suits. But don't worry, guys. NASA says they are not stranded in space, and they would really like if we would stop saying that. But it's quite literally hard not to see it that way, considering they can't seem to bring them down.
They're quite literally stranded in space right now, until someone brings them back. But it's crazy to think about how there's people still going out to space.
Crackdown on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
Lila, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification, like their driver's licence or passport, when using social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Now, police would have access to those social media accounts, and it's all part of a crackdown on online abuse. Now, users could be liable for defamation suits or even criminal prosecution, and it's all part of a plan hoping to deter people from engaging in bad behaviour. Now, the recommendation recommendations were handed down by a federal parliamentary inquiry. They're reforms that are being considered by the Morrison government, with the chairman saying there is merit to remove the veil of being anonymous. Layla?
You're going to want to listen to this because
that is
you
insane.
Might
It says Australians will be required to submit ID to access internet, and police must have access to their social media, including private messaging, all tied to their social credit score.
The veil of being anonymous. Layla?
You're going to want to listen to this because you might be living in an alternate universe and have no idea, like I did. And I found out in a very strange way through James Bond. Now, just to explain, my wife and I were rewatching some old James Bond movies, and we got to Moonraker, which was a movie that I saw in the theaters as a kid, and we were rewatching it, and we got to the part where there's this henchman, Jaws. He has these steel teeth, and he and James Bond are fighting on a cable car going down, and I remembered this scene from when I was a kid, and I remember distinctly the car crashes, and in the rubble of the crash, this young woman, she's a little geeky, has pigtails. She comes and sort of sifts through the wreckage, and Jaws gets up, dusts himself off, and he looks at her, and he smiles with his steel teeth. And the punchline of the scene, which I remembered, which was so funny, is she smiles back, and she has braces. Perfect. Wait a minute. Yeah. I was really blown away. I was really confused. I thought, why would they years later re-edit this, maybe digitally remove the braces, or why would they use a different take without the braces? That was so funny. Well, it turns out there never were braces. That scene never existed in Moonraker. The scene exists, but Dolly doesn't have braces. And I am one of a small amount of the population who remembers the scene with her having braces. This is apparently, when I looked in forums and I did research, is a Mandela effect. For those of you who don't know what a Mandela effect is, it's this phenomenon where a certain portion of the population believes that they experienced something that did not happen.
40 seats. What? They didn't know what they were talking about. We know we're different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win.
Manham with an unusual observation about...
She done said it straight up.
Bouvet Island, yes, home of the Blob and fictional location of Alien vs. Predator. Do you remember on June 29th when this happened?
Still kind of chilling Saturday morning, and there's been an earthquake on Bouvet Island. Let's take a look.
I shared how it was a 5.6 earthquake at the somewhat mysterious depth of 10 kilometers. I went on to tell you how Bouvet Island has rare earth elements and an EU anomaly, which is europium used for nuclear reactors and lasers. This led me to tell you how on Skinwalker Ranch they use lasers to attract UAPs. And then I explained how at the South Pole Research Station
They use the same laser, but it's for weather testing.
Well, one of you noticed this.
And measurements.
Did you see that? Let's look again.
But it's for weather testing. And measurements. And measurements.
Did Bouvet Island just wink? I even wrote to the manufacturer of my map, and he said there's no way that should happen, especially given that all the other earthquakes that share the same layer remain visible. I mean, I suppose I feel flattered.
But it's not on the ice. It's 2,000 feet below.
Creepy water creature caught on camera. What in the world is that? What the hell? That look like a water rat. That's a rat for the water.
Please, dear God, Someone tell me.
Well, 1947. What happened?
Roswell, 1947, there was a UAP that crashed. In fact, there were two UAP that crashed, and one flew away while the other one did not, and it was recovered by the U.S. government.
Allegations of a legacy UAP retrieval and reverse engineering program.
The U.S. government has had, in the past, and continues to have a very deep interest in UAP, to include the potential and possibilities of recovering crashed UAP and reverse engineering them.
We've been recovering spacecraft, alien spacecraft.
The United States has been involved in the recovery of objects, vehicles of unknown origin that are neither from our country or any other foreign country that we're aware of.
Alien bodies, biologics.
We as a nation have been interested in not only the vehicles themselves, but the occupants of these vehicles, to include biological specimens.
Aliens, non-human intelligences, are real, and they have been engaging with humanity.
Ross, we're not alone. We are not alone in this universe, and it is a simple fact, and the U.S. government has been aware of that fact.
This is a weird one. A pharmaceutical company that's trialing a new groundbreaking...
Comment down below, do you believe in aliens? If so, why? If you don't, comment down below why also.
...age reversal pill had such good results that the local news wanted to run a story on them. But before they even could publish the video, the chairman and CEO... You see, 6 months ago, this 12-year-old German Shepherd was near... He had terminal cancer, was operated on, and his prognosis wasn't looking good. The dog's caretaker knew that an age reversal trial was being conducted on dogs, and so she asked if Zeus could be a part of it due to his dire situation. The pill's aim is to lengthen telomere caps on human stem cells, because as part of the aging process, our telomeres shorten, which increases the chance of age-related diseases, and of course...
If you can increase telomeres, you can reproduce stem cells and keep repairing things so that you can get literally younger.
They said that in their drugs, preclinical data from a previous in vitro human cell study, it showed that the medication lengthened telomeres by almost 200%. Zeus was granted access to the medication in April, and his caretaker said that she saw results almost immediately.
He's doing marvelously. He goes out to our pool and he swims and he has fun and he plays with the tennis ball.
A recent scan showed that the cancer in his body had completely disappeared, and the results were so remarkable that she asked for more to give another 12-year-old dog that could hardly walk due to arthritis. And just last week, she said that he has started galloping and running again. But then, despite all of that, they hit us with this.
And we are sad to report that since this interview was conducted, Dr. Christopher Chapman has recently passed away.
On the company's website, they announced his passing, saying, out of respect and privacy for Dr. Chapman's family, details of the 71-year-old's passing will not be made available. And then added that to support the new chairman and CEO, 3 telomere directors have voluntarily resigned. Human trials for this drug are planned for mid-2020.
45 of the 46
That's
presidents.
insane. If that's true that there's actually a drug that makes you younger, that's like completely life-changing for the entire world.
So 45 of the 46 presidents are all related to each other. But did you know that there's only one celebrity that's related to all 46 presidents? I wonder who that could be. This celebrity is on the flight logs for that famous island. And in fact, I heard that his perversions were so bad that he was actually banned from the island. This guy was actually cleared of all charges last year in some assault scandal stuff. Oh my goodness. You want to know who it is? It's Kevin Spacey. That's right. He's related to all the presidents. Not excluding any of them. All 46. Joe Biden's famous kin page is finally up, and I'll show you. He's only related to 3 notable people. And there you have it. 3 people. A lady who was a survivor from the Titanic, Christopher Rouse, and Kevin Spacey. So interesting that he would be charged with certain things, and he happens to have that royal line, which is what connects him to all the...
For whatever reason, the WEF have infiltrated the archaeology space and are the ultimate decision makers at what happens in Göbekli Tepe. Now, the CEO of Dogus is billionaire Ferit Sahenk, who has been a loyal WEF boy for quite a while now. This partnership with Dogus and the WEF was announced in 2016, so what progress has been made since then? To start, they added these fancy, ultra-modern roofs and boardwalks around the site to protect it from the elements and promote tourism. Built with super heavy-duty steel beams and foundations that penetrate directly into one of the most important historic sites on Earth, and also appear to be pretty permanent, literally getting in the way of excavating the site further as it's sitting right on top of unexcavated areas, which we know from our radar scans there is much more to see under these. Why on earth would you stick these massive steel foundations and boardwalks into a delicate historic site you're claiming to excavate, damaging it in the process? But oh, that's just the tip, which I do not like. Almost an entire kilometer of walkways and fully paved roads were added to the undug areas on top of the ruins, pouring concrete directly onto the site with plans of replacing some of the wooden walkways with more paved roads. Does any of this seem like temporary tourism awareness to you? And look at this aerial view. Rows of trees planted on the site on top of areas that are highly suspected to have more underneath as per radar scans. The same view from 2004, a whole 10 years after excavations began, shows no trees, almost like they intentionally planted them afterwards. Tree growth has been shown to damage man-made structures, so is this any way to be treating the most important ancient site in the world? We're not even allowed to touch Stonehenge anymore, yet they're pouring concrete, planting trees, and sticking long steel foundations into Göbekli Tepe? If they really wanted to excavate it, isn't this just making the job 10 times harder? Professional archaeologists like this fine lady went there and confirmed herself as a professional that they are, in fact, destroying the site, to which the Turkish government denies all allegations, even outright lying, saying concrete was never used. It was. How on earth can we continue to excavate this site with all this stuff on top of it, all for tourism? Even if so, is that more important than uncovering the secrets of our ancient past? The WEF has billions of dollars and is directing all progress on this site. They could dig it up if they wanted to, so what are they trying to do here? Just try and tell me they're not covering this site up with a straight face. I don't see any other reasons for
Man went missing after posting this. Nobody is safe.
Yo, 4D printed steak from Temu. I joke about the Temu part, but this is vegan. From Redefined Meat. Look at the logo. Why is the cow upside down? I'm gonna open this, taste it, smell it, cook it. Look at the fillets. It's actually 4D meat juice. You know what? Let me taste it. Am I supposed to be tasting this shit? This is crazy. Honestly, this smells of cardboard. How does this cook? Look at the intermuscular fat. Look at the protein. I'm following the instructions to a T. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Medium heat, 3 minutes on each side. Actually looks like steak. For best results, slice with grade. Medium rare. It feels like I'm cutting into something meaty though. It still smells like cardboard. Look at the cross section. It's now time for the moment of false. I'm just gonna try it. Oh my god. Texture. Actually spot on. Feels like meat in the mouth. Even chews like meat. There's a toughness to it. This is actually £8. It's not bad. And I thought this would be so much.
Park guests are stuck dangling.
The fact that food is just getting more and more fake as time goes on is just sad.
200 feet in the air at a Six Flags amusement theme park as a storm rolls in. The whole park shut down, but they couldn't get these people off.
This video is called The Wandering Man. It's by TikToker BetsAngel69. Take a look.
About a month ago, around Easter, I had taken a video of what looked to be like a shadow figure walking around across the street in the woods. And it's looking directly out my front window, so it's a little hard not to notice. I initially took the video to send it to my friend, and she thought it was just super creepy. So, I started taking a couple more videos. I posted them on my Facebook so just my friends and family could see. And this went on for days. And he paces back and forth for hours and hours. Not just for 20 minutes at a time. This is hours and hours and hours and days, weeks. I mean, here we are a month and a half later and it's been still there. That's been kind of curious. This is the church that's directly across the street from my house.
So why don't you just go up to him and say, hey, how you doing? I mean, if it's doing that consistently for over a month, might as well just go check it out.
That I was explaining. This is the area where we see that figure. It just walks back and forth every day, all day. Now, I've been over there a couple of times as I walk up on it.
Oh, I see it. It's back here.
Yesterday was Easter. I went over there, but 2 big dogs that were off leash came out, and it was time to go. Then we had the storm, so as soon as we're done with our schoolwork, I will record myself going across the street and show you that as you walk over, you no longer see what appears to be a person. pacing back.
Believe you reach a certain level.
Hey, after like a couple days, I would just walk over there and go up. If he leaves every single time, then there's something fishy going on, honestly speaking.
Hollywood, and then there's just like the demons, like the Illuminati, the whole people come after you. Do you believe that too, or have you witnessed something like that happening in this industry at all?
Well, I believe that in the supernatural realm of spiritual warfare, there are people that pick sides. You know, there are people, you know, clearly call it Illuminati, call whatever you want, but there is the spirit of this world, and the Lord of this world is Satan, according to what I believe. So with that in mind, you can do a deal with him to have all the pleasures of this world, you know, because that way you're lifting him up and all that good stuff. But yeah, so I believe that some of that is...
Female Masons that were very prominent, of course, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, founder of the Theosophical Society, Annie Besant, Alice A. Bailey, and Alice A. Bailey, her husband, was Foster. He was a 32-degree Freemason and part of co-masonry. They started a publishing company known as Lucifer Trust, which they later changed to Lucis Trust. This is Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. This one over here is Alice A. Bailey. And these are the ones who wrote down the secret of the secret doctrines. Of course, once they achieved the highest degrees, then they would have to be male. So Annie Besant is known as Brother Annie Besant, 33-degree Freemason. The same in the Egyptians. If a female pharaoh became pharaoh, then she was male. So Hatshepsut, for example, is figured with a beard, because you had to be an honorary male. You can't be the reincarnation of the sun god if you're a female. So co-masonry, Annie Besant and all these high masons, Alice A. Bailey, High Priestess of the New Age movement, received messages from a Tibetan known as Dwal Kul. On her writings you will find, of course, the Masonic symbols. And these are her writings. And of course, Blavatsky is the one who wrote Isis Unveiled, Secret Doctrine, and all of these mystic Masonic books, which are virtually impossible to get hold of, although these days you can if you...
Traveling is something that's not supposed to exist, but what if I told you that there is enough video and picture evidence may actually prove that it was already achieved at some point in time, maybe in the future, maybe in the past. In this video, for instance, recorded in the 1980s, we can see a woman holding what looks like an iPhone.
That ain't
She
no
appears to
damn
be
iPhone.
recording something, and then afterwards, she's watching what she recorded. This is insane. Now remember that the first official LED phone that actually looked like this was invented by LG, and it was named Prada. It was released in 2006. So this is not an LG product. This has to be something else entirely.
Nah, it does
In
look
this
like a cell phone,
colorized
though.
video from the 1930s recorded in Amsterdam, we can see a woman coming out of a shop. She's clearly holding something that looks like a phone, and she appears to be talking to someone. Now remember that the first mobile phone was invented in the 1970s. Strange, isn't it? But it doesn't stop there. This black and white video from the 1930s of a woman clearly holding something in her hand, something that looks like a mobile phone, and she's talking to someone through it. So what's going on here? Then you got this famous video from the 1990s where you can see a woman recording the Mike Tyson fight.
Prior to present, touch the motto once told them your greatest asset.
That's reasonable, though.
She appears to be recording the fight with an iPhone or something like that.
Like one. Thank you to
the other. We have a beautiful
reaching, talking,
But
and
talking
looking
about
down
time
like
traveling, I did recently just watch The Terminator. It's a really old movie, but I used to watch it when I was younger, and I watched it like 2 days ago with my family. And basically that whole movie is based off of time traveling. The Terminator comes from the future as a machine, and it's crazy because that machine in itself was created by human beings, and it ended up gaining self-awareness, and then it ended up taking over the entire world. And that's like, I feel like that's the same narrative that like most of the elites give. Like when it comes to Elon Musk, him creating Tesla, he says that AI is so powerful that we need to actually be careful. Like it's actually dangerous, you know, dealing with AI so much, because once they do gain consciousness and awareness, they could turn on us. That's what they say, but It's just interesting to think about.
Something is wrong. Our beautiful planet, it's the most beautiful planet in the whole solar system.
Chamatoff and Greg Johnson, obviously they're
Again,
doing
looking
other
down.
things. Andrew Feustel is there. Why don't you pass the microphone to him?
So we don't need to
Look
bring
at
any
his
special
posture.
blankies.
He has that machine around him and he's stuck.
Trinkets with you.
Here's where they do a group backflip and the guy in blue gets stuck upside down.
I think we can do that, right?
This then causes the guy in red to press an invisible button to the right-hand side of the room. You can then hear the machine working and attempting to untangle him.
That's certainly not as graceful.
I gotta
Keep
say,
your eyes on the guy in
you're
red.
having some fun up there. You're not going to the Olympics with that. Keep the.
Watch. Listen as he presses the button. You can hear the machine.
Yeah, Miles.
Watch the replay and see the wire under the blue shirt.
Like one. Thank you to.
It's being pulled by the machine.
Yeah, Miles, and I'll send you one of these bracelets.
Untangling wire.
Thank you to all of you very much. Appreciate your time. I know you got a busy.
He's
mission
completely
ahead. You got
stuck.
the spacewalk ahead, and thanks to all of you for your time.
Yeah, Miles, and I'll send you one of these bracelets.
Wow. Well, they just... That is so corny, bro. They were acting as if they were in space, bro. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to this internet, you don't know what you could believe. They could literally fake pictures of the moon, of Earth. You never really know until you like really go up in space. They just fake this entire setting as if they were in space, bro. But hey, it is what it is. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.